to another episode of The Follow-Up. I'm Noah, and Eden's at camp.
I'm filling in.
So Marissa's here to talk about what it's like not having Eden here for the first of 7 weeks. She's been gone now for 1 week at overnight camp. We've gotten 4 letters. Did you bring the letter?
I didn't. All right, hang tight.
So Eden's always prepared for the podcast. Marissa, since she's just filling in, and we're going to be talking about what it's been like without Eden, she's not prepared, despite me saying, bring the letter. So we got...
I think we talked about bringing the letter the other day, so...
No, we talked about it about 45 seconds ago. We got 3 letters the first day, and this is a letter from... This is her fourth letter.
This is the fourth, okay.
One of the first 3 letters just said, I can't find my goggles. I need them to swim. They found the goggles.
They found them. They were tangled up in a tutu. Crisis averted. She was able to borrow some goggles. Everything is okay.
As if getting the letter. Well, I guess I don't know. I mean, getting the letter and then sending it. Just...
Right, then we'd have to buy them, and you couldn't just get shipped right from Amazon or something. Okay, so this was hello from camp on the stationery. So here was the letter. Hi, yesterday was a rainy one. So for those of you who are not following what's been going on in the Northeast, horrible weather this summer so far. Rain, rain, rain. There have been some sunny days, but this was apparently a rainy one. Yesterday was a rainy one. We had ceramics in the afternoon, and it was my bunk's favorite activity. We made an elephant and a teddy bear. Also, we had drama. Our theme for our play with all the people in her age group and the age group below her is a Broadway theme. Each bunk sings one song and dances to one. We sing A Spoonful of Sugar and dance to Grease Lightning. I love you, love Eden. So even on a rainy day, we were happy that we still got, or that yesterday was a rainy day, we still were happy that the letter was very positive, lots of exclamation points, and they seem to be making the best of the weather.
How many letters do you think we've written?
I write one. Well, I wrote 2 prior to her leaving for camp, so she got them when she got there.
Okay, so in 1 week, how many letters?
I write about every other day.
So, okay, so she has gotten...
She's probably gotten at least 6 from me.
6, 7
yeah.
letters.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, but are you signing my name also?
I am. I write... Well, no, I started to. The first few are just from me. But then I did start writing Love Mom and Dad.
Right, because when I wrote mine,
yeah.
I wrote Love Mom and Dad.
Okay. Well, now we're even.
And you know she's going to watch this.
She's going to watch it.
Or she might even be able to... She might even listen to it. So at camp, they don't have devices, but they have the music they get during rest time. They have these music devices, which are essentially... like the old
school
iPods.
Yeah.
And there's Spotify on it, and it's like on for an hour a day.
Right.
And the podcast is on Spotify, so she might listen to it.
But I hope she's so busy she won't even listen to it. So what happened was we dropped her off last Saturday. Today is Sunday. So 8 days ago, we dropped her off at the bus very early in Westchester. We drove back to New York. We pull into the garage here at about 8:57.
About 8:57?
Exactly at 8:57.
Okay.
We get back upstairs. It's 9 on the dot. And we just sort of stared at each other like, all right, like, now
right,
what?
So everyone who's asked, so what do you do? So we had coffee, and then we watched 2 episodes of Mindy Project.
It was also rainy. We could not go up to our pool.
That's something that we wouldn't have done. Like, you coffee at 9 o'clock and then
just watch
2 episodes of a sitcom. That wouldn't have been part of our routine. But we've been eating. It feels like Eden's been gone for a lot longer than a week.
Right.
And it's quiet. It's odd. It's
coming home when it's very rare that I walk in the door here and no one is home ever. Right. There's always someone home. So that's different. We are trying to eat dinner later.
Right, trying to eat after 7 o'clock. So usually we eat around like 6:15. But we have been eating dinner a little bit later. Gone out to dinner a few times. But it's what I miss. Well, obviously I just miss having Eden around. Mm-hmm. What I miss the most is hearing everything about her day, and we're so used to knowing everything that is going on and what has happened during the day. And now we don't.
Right. But we just imagine things that she's having a great time, that she's doing her different activities, that she's in color war, that she's water skiing and playing tennis and in the ropes course.
So we've seen pictures.
Yeah, we've seen pictures.
They post pictures. They send them through this app on Wednesdays and Saturdays.
Yeah.
And it is, I'm glad there's not a daily photo.
It's too much.
Thing. I'm glad.
So today we got 630 pictures or something.
But,
could you imagine if that was every day?
No. And it wouldn't be every day. 600 something pictures. It just, over the course of a few days. But what is nice is that you send in a photo beforehand, and through this app, they use AI or
the facial
recognition, and so then tagged photos of your child are delivered.
Correct.
And they even find when they're in the background, which is very nice. So you don't have to scroll through all of them just to find them. You can go through all of those afterwards.
But of course, I'm going to look at all of them because I like to see the kids.
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. So, Eden, even if you are listening to this while you're at camp and you find this on Spotify, we're bored. We're not doing anything exciting here. We would much rather be at camp like you are. And guess what? We have to go to work every day like usual, like the rest of the year. We don't get summer vacation. So,
have you held things that you want to talk about with me for later in the summer? Or
yeah, I have some stories and things that were topics.
You just write them down in
right,
your,
like
in
we
your
can't
notes.
use all of our topics of conversation up right the first week, right?
Correct. I have them in my notes
7
section
weeks.
on my phone of like, all right, on this day we should talk about this, on this day we should talk about this.
Right. Because like there's the work chatter of what happened today at work, but then we can't only talk about that and just speculate about what Eden is doing.
It's not terrible just to sit there and speculate about what Eden's doing. I don't mind that.
We're just kidding. We have lots of things to talk about. We always just joke. We can't use all of our topics up like right off the bat.
Sitting in different seats at the table.
Right. Oh, we did that once. That was totally weird. Yeah.
You sat on one head, I sat on another.
It was like the king and the queen.
You've sat at Eden's seat a few times. I have not sat there. Yeah, maybe I will. Maybe I will tonight for dinner.
Yeah, so this is how boring our life is. It's like musical chairs at the dinner table.
But as we recording this on Sunday, July 2nd, we cleaned a ton.
Yeah.
That was very productive.
So I really like the times that we've cleaned the apartment. Like one major sweep we had here was when we moved back to New York after living in Philadelphia when this podcast was started. When we came back during the pandemic, I think it took us like 3 days to go through everything because we were getting rid of so many baby toys and other things from the past 5 years of Eden and us. And we did a big sweep today of 3 closets, which took us it must have been like 5 hours it took us to go through everything.
5 hours?
Yeah, it was for sure. We had a little break for lunch, but it took a long time. But I love doing that, but it's so boring. That took
longer because then I was looking at photos for a while.
Right, but it did take a while, and we're still not 100% done with that. Plus, we have more. That was one of our big projects this summer was, while Eden is not here, we got to go through stuff because, when you're, even for all of you, you may live in a house, you may live in an apartment, you just accumulate things. And Noah is such a good packer that there are so many things stashed away that we just don't remember we have because things are in bags or they're bags and inside bags. It's like one of those Russian dolls. It's like things inside things inside things.
Hider, yeah.
Yeah. So then all of a sudden it's like we haven't seen this in how many years? So out the door it goes.
Or move to the front.
Or move it to the front so we use it. Yeah.
Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. Maybe we should save something for the next podcast.
Visiting day?
Yeah, coming up soon. No, 3 weeks. Not soon. No, but we'll be back.
Yeah,
we
get a visiting day. That's how it works at camp. We get a visiting day.
We do get a phone call this coming Wednesday with Eden.
Yes.
Yep. She's gonna call us for 10 minutes. One of us will have to conference the other one in.
So when you went to camp, how did that? Because we did not get phone calls, but I only went for the first month of camp. You went the whole. How did that go?
So we would have phone time. And it was usually after dinner for about half an hour. I think there were 2 slots a week that we got. But your parents didn't know when you were calling. Like now the camp tells us these are the 3 different times during the summer. And these are the exact 10 minutes that your child will call you. Which is great because then you're ready. But I used to call collect. So we had 2 pay phones. And you had 5 minutes. And
wait, your parents are paying all this money for camp and then you have to call collect?
Well, how would we call them? because at that time it would have been long distance.
What? They can't. Well, first of all, the camp should pay for that.
Okay.
Or the camp should give you a calling card.
Well, whatever it was, we had to call collect. So I think later we had calling cards, but so we would call collect, and for me, it's like my parents' schedule. Like who knows who was going to be home on any given night because my parents were either on call or doing something else, and the schedule was never the same. So I remember the first time I called home, call collect. I remember only my dad was home because my mom was working that night, and I didn't realize, so I didn't even get both my parents that night. But you just had to guess if your parents would be home.
Do you remember sounding disappointed that your mom wasn't home?
I don't know. But I remember I was a little bit upset after because I only, I didn't hear both my parents' voices. I only heard one, and it was my first time ever calling home from camp. So, I mean, I'm sure I was excited to talk to my dad, but then I didn't get to talk to my mom, and then who knows if she's going to be home the next time. So, It was definitely different because you just didn't know who would be home, and I remember calling home sometimes and nobody was home.
That sucks. Yeah.
But I did talk to my parents, but it was definitely not the prearranged calling. Maybe by the time, I was able to tell them this is our time. I don't know if we had an aside. I don't know.
Camp in 2023 is a whole lot different.
Definitely. There's way more communication that parents can have with the camp. There's also, there's just no reason my parents would have ever had to call camp. Or no reason for camp to have to call my parents. Thank God.
Yeah.
I was never sick or anything, so it's different now for sure.
Yeah.
But it's great. We get to see pictures. We have some sort of sense of what's going on versus before it was just
and the
letters.
smiles on the canoe and the and water skiing.
Mm-hmm. That was nice.
The hike.
Or the face paint that they'd been wearing for whatever activities
she
they've
looks
been doing.
So different in a hat.
Yeah.
And a hike.
Yeah. But she loves to hike. She loves being outside, and seems like she's having a good time.
All right.
Yeah. Well, I'm so happy to be a guest star on the podcast. Maybe we have one or two more
star.
episodes. I feel like a star. Look where I'm sitting in the hot seat here.
Eden and I are co-hosts. Now you're calling yourself a guest star?
Yeah.
Wow.
What do you all think? Am I the guest star today?
No, you're the fill-in host. You're the fill-in co-host.
Well, okay, so you're like Ryan Seacrest and I'm Kelly Ripa, and when she goes away on the guest host or something?
Bring yourself down a little bit.
All
right, so you can...
I'm happy to be here.
Always watch podcasts on YouTube, the Follow-Up Podcast. Apple Podcast is... You can listen there, subscribe, and you can leave a review, and that always helps the podcast as well. And you can follow it on Spotify.
And if you have a topic that you want the two of us to talk about next time, whenever we do this again... True. Please leave that in the comments.
All right, do I need to give you a hug and a kiss and say...
Let's do it! Right. Oh, wait, I didn't kiss you. That's silly.